Hey everybody, what's up? Your friendly neighborhood gamer, Zago Cometh, aka the Ghost Who Walks, back with you again with another Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links video, so to speak. We're currently going through the Pegasus Toon World event in the game, and everybody's scrambling trying to figure out how best to farm level 40 Pegasus, because everybody's trying to get those score rewards. It took me a little bit, but I found a deck that seems like it's the right deck for me. I hope it's the right deck for whoever it is that's watching this video, but we're gonna go into that right about now. I'm gonna go over the deck list with you guys. I just want to say, not shown on the screen as portion of the deck list is the extra deck. I actually put the fusion for the clones, the Bickuribox. There we go. I hope I didn't butcher that name, but that's in the extra deck. Alright, so first up, we have Divine Grace Northwemko. That's the ritual monster that's in the deck that we're going to be using to get the ritual dual assessment bonus score. We have Sphere Kuriboh, defensive tool in the deck for when matches might get out of hand and you need to protect your monsters on board. Guardian Statue, cornerstone of this deck without a doubt. This is the card that you're going to use primarily to stall out the game to get to your end game so you can get cards and a brink bonus. After that, we have the Crass Clown. Running one copy of Crass Clown, 3 copies of the Guardian Statue. Running one copy of Crass Clown because you only really need it for the fusion. Gravekeeper Vassal, another cornerstone off the deck. We're going to be using this to deal effect damage and get the effect damage bonus for the end game kill. Dream Clone is in the deck. We have 3 copies of those because overall Dream Clone is just good, and it's also for the fusion. It also helps out in sticky situations where you need to get rid of monsters on the board. Same thing with Blade Rabbit, running 2 copies of that. Basically acts as a ghetto Dream Clone, so to speak, a lower version of Dream Clone. Fusion Gate, running 1 copy of that for the fusion bonus like I mentioned before. Then we have 2 copies of Union Attack, the card that everyone loves to hate that no one seems to have. So a lot of the community has been making decks that basically circumvent that using Gift of the Martyr, but I don't have Gift of the Martyr, I have Union Attack, so my decks pretty much always try to utilize Union Attack. We're also running 1 enemy controller. We got a prismatic one from the KC Cup. Can't really see it on the deck list, but yeah. Running that as another defensive tool similar to Kuriboh. You help protect your minions. We have the Ritual card, Ritual of Grace for the Ritual monster that we mentioned earlier, Northwemko. We have 1 copy of Desert Sunlight, another defensive tool. Curse of Anubis, 1 copy of that, another defensive tool. Windstorm of Etaqua, another defensive tool. Because it's really easy for Pegasus to end up snowballing the board because he can special summon out Toon Mermaids, and it feels really bad when he goes like turn 1, 3 Toon Mermaids, and then he sacrifices 1 for like a Toon Summon Skull or Mammoth or something of the sort. So that's basically the deck. We use the new dual replay feature that's in the game to record this match. So we're gonna play 2 matches for you using this deck so you can see how it works. The overall plan of the game is to stall out the game with Guardian Statue. You get into sort of an infinite loop of returning his Toon Summon Skull, and then he puts out something and sacrifices it for the Toon Summon Skull again, so he doesn't really actually get to attack with it. And so far, number 1 question people ask about this deck is why doesn't it have Secret Pass to the treasure so that it can enable the Gravekeeper Vassal to attack through whatever minions you might have on board to hit your life points. In this deck, it's not really needed because you keep using the Guardian Statues to bounce back all the minions that come out on the field anyways, so it's not needed in the deck. Also notice that Pegasus tends to actually try to use what's the card? I think it's Magic Drain. No, Magic Drain is level 50. I don't remember, but he counters some of the cards at times, and currently running this list he hasn't really countered any other cards that I've played. So what was I saying again? Yeah, so the end game is on the last turn. The beauty of this deck is you can special summon your fusion summon on the last turn. You can ritual summon your monster on the last turn, and you can still normal summon your Gravekeeper Vassal. So you don't have to worry about setting up anything beforehand Especially since Mammoth won't be an issue, because even if it's on the field on the last turn, you can use your Guardian statue to bounce back the Mammoth if it's that minion that he has on the field to clear the field, and you can attack right away anyways. So the combo is to get out your fusion, your ritual, which your ritual is 2700, your fusion is 2300, so that overall gives you 5000 attack, and then you double union attack to give you 10,000 attack plus the 700 on the Gravekeeper Vassal, and that gives you your over 10,000 attack damage dueling assessment bonus. So without further ado, we're gonna play this first match for you right there. Alright, so we went first this match. There's two matches, one me going first, one me going second, to showcase the deck. So first match, this deck is also able to be used on any duelist. The skill doesn't matter, so that's another good thing, so you can farm for your skill drops. So turn one, we set out the Guardian statue, and we set out the Desert Sunlight as a defensive tool. So you see him here special summon out the Toon Mermaid, and he gets out the Toon Summon Skull and an extra monster. So we immediately bounce back the Toon Summon Skull with the Guardian statue effect, and we set down the Dream Clown as a backup. So it does the same thing, and this is the loop I was talking about, where you sacrifice a minion, puts out the Toon Summon Skull. So we're gonna bounce it back again. Most of the match is just us bouncing back the Toon Summon Skull. So here we afraid here to use the Dream Clown's effect to kill the face down minion that he has, because I don't know if he has Michizuru down, but we get another defensive tool and we set that Guardian Statue bounces back Toon Summon Skull. So this is why I haven't used the Dream Clown's effect yet to kill the face down, because I'm hoping he'll just sacrifice the face down himself for the Toon Summon Skull's effect. So I'm just hoping he draws dead and has to use the face down to summon out the Toon Summon Skull. So we just keep bouncing it back, keep bouncing back. We draw into a Kuriboh, another defensive tool in case he gets on. So there you go. He sacrifices the copycat card. So now he only has the 1 minion on the field. We bounce back with the Guardian Statue, and we just keep basically doing that for like the next 11 or so turns. He plays Potter Dictomy here, gets back some cards in his deck and whatnot, which helps us because he doesn't deck out before us, so that's good. In certain situations it can be bad because he might like try to get more value off the Mammoth card, but here, like I said, we have him in the somewhat infinite loop where he keeps putting out the Toon Summon Skull and we keep bouncing it back. So we just basically keep drawing our cards until we get to our end game. And overall, I feel this deck is pretty consistent. Like, it's rare that you don't get a Guardian Statue in your opening hand because it's like 3 copies in the deck. But there are times, obviously, when these things will happen because, you know, RNG and all that stuff. But there are enough defensive tools in the deck to actually ensure that at the end of the day, you don't really have to worry too much if you get a bad starting hand. So, yeah, you can see for yourself. I don't really need to explain much. You can see it's the infinite loop of bouncing back the Toon Summon Skull. This match was, I think, about 5 minutes long, which I guess is kind of long somewhat. Well, there's the Mammoth he got out, and he tried to attack, but we had our defensive too. We had our Desert Sunlight down where we could turn our Dream Clown, killing the Mammoth. He activated Michizuru, killing the Dream Clown, which is okay because we have like 3 in the deck anyways. So we just set out another one, and we're right back to the initial game plan of bouncing back whatever the hell he decides to throw out. So we're almost on our last turn here, and I decide to activate the Fusion Gate, get out our Fusion Song, because we really don't use Dream Clown outright to kill stuff because we're always in fear of Michizuru. But we know that Michizuru is gone now, so we can just sacrifice it. And he doesn't really have any minions that are over 2,300 aside from the Toon Summon Skull, which we're gonna bounce back anyways, so you'll never actually get to attack. Even if it is that he got out something, the only thing that he can get out is Mammoth that can attack right away, and even if he has the field spell up that gives him 300 attack, we have enough defensive tools to help stave off any attacks from that, and he would just outright trade the fusion. So you always need to keep that in mind, that the defensive tools are there for different scenarios, so to speak, but they have most of their bases covered. So final turn, We bounce back the Toon Summon Skull one last time, activate our ritual spell, sacrifice the Guardian on the field and whatever else monsters in your hand for the amount of stars you need. And another cool reason why I like Divine Grace is it doesn't get killed by card effects once it comes out, so you can actually just tie it to either his Toon World or your Fusion Gate, just in case he hasn't already used Michizuru and he tries some funky stuff. It can't die to card effects, so that's awesome. So there you go, double union attack and boom, 10,700 damage. Bada bing bada boom, we win. And that is the end of our first match, which we got a duel assessment of 8,300. We didn't really, we got our first copy of Toon World off that duel assessment, so that was pretty lit. Alright, so I'm gonna show you the second match now, where we had more of a rough start in this match, but due to our defensive tools that I mentioned before, we actually clutched it out and actually got a pretty good duel assessment score all in all. Alright, so second match, and like I said, this deck is viable for any dual character. The skill doesn't really matter, but primarily this deck works really good with Mai's Aroma strategy and Pegasus's Mind Scan, because it kind of gives you a heads up, so to speak, of what cards the opponent has or what cards you have coming up in the deck. So here we went second. He got out his Goblin attack force, so we put out our Dream Clown. We took the 2,300 because there's not much we could do about it, but luckily we started with our defensive tool. So you can see the importance of the defensive tool, because having out two monsters on his side and we haven't gotten out our Guardian statue yet would have been a problem. So Judgment of Anubis, we activated the Dream Clown's effect. Dream Clown killed one of the goblins, and then we could trade off with the others, and then we're back to the initial game plan of bouncing back the Toon Summon Skull, like I mentioned, and just cycling it back to his hand over and over, not really killing his monsters because we're always under that fear of Michizuru. So we just keep bouncing it back, letting him kill his own monsters for the Toon Summon Skull tribute. And yeah, I mean, once you get out the Guardian statue, if you want, as a backup, you can actually have two Guardian statues on the field. If he like floods his board and you need to like have two Guardians out to deal with the excessive board he's putting out, that's totally fine, because in the end game you're going to be sacrificing, you can easily sacrifice the Guardians on the field to clear up board space for the Gravekeeper Vassal and just use those as fodder for the ritual summon. So it works out pretty well. And you just need the, you don't even really need the Dream Cloud on the field, but it's cool to have. Also, it can work as a backup if he gets a Michizuru off. He typically decides to Michizuru the Dream Clown. So we have 3 in the deck anyway, so it doesn't matter if we lose 1 to Michizuru on the field. But the cornerstone of the deck is definitely the Guardian statue and the Gravekeeper's Vassal. Those are the 2 main pillars of the deck. So once again, we just keep cycling back the Summon Skull to his hand. We have all our defensive tools in play. There's not really much he can do at this point. Here we just proc the enemy controller because we want to clear up the spell zone. We don't want to clog our field per se, and then we just bounce it back anyways, and we get the prismatic bonus for it for using it. So I mean, it works out either way. So you basically get to see how it looks going both first and second between these 2 matches. So I hope that the deck works out for everybody. And because we keep bouncing back stuff, his hand gets full and he ends up discarding stuff. You just see him discarding the Mammoth, so we don't even get to fight the Mammoth this game, which is perfect. So there we go, we sacrifice our Dream Clown. Fusion Summon, there he discarded Michizuru there, so I didn't even get to use it this game. So now, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Going into our last turn, we bounce back the Toon Summon Skull again. Activate our ritual effect. So we clear the space on the field for that, and then we our empty space that's left, we drop our Gravekeeper Vassal, and then Union attack it up, and that's 10,700 effect damage to the face. No secret pass to the treasure needed. And just like that, you have beaten level 40 Pegasus. And for this match, we actually got a higher score. We ended up getting 8,500 for a dual assessment. So yeah, that's basically that. Everything worked out. That's the deck in its entirety. Thanks for watching, and best of luck to all you guys in the event. I'm currently at 2 million, trying to get to the 4 million mark, but you know, slowly but surely. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep on gaming. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like all our videos. Do go check us out on Facebook. You can search us under the name Zalgo Cometh. Follow us on Twitter at Mr_Gamehead. And as always, keep on gaming. Visit our game review blog at www.zalgocometh.blogspot.com. See you guys later.